Hey, good evening, welcome to Speed Gaming 4, it's SMZ3. Smilefires, if you could switch the layout to 2P, that'd be great. And yeah, so 2 players tonight, cooking it in, Mr. Early 1000, and we're going to be doing a semi-reduced 5, it's going to be a 5 Crystal Ganon and a 3 Metroid Boss Mother Brain. The GT is still going to require 7, so we are not going to need that with that setup. It just means it's gone. So with that, Ganon will also be fast. You just go straight to the tower once we have the ability, and that's it. Runner's now getting to go. If anything is off with this, let me know. I'm doing it myself, so I can try to play back a few things to diagnose, but it'll be easier if you just let me know. Get the sync here soon. Yeah, so those not familiar, this is Link to the Past, original version, and Super Metroid combined with 4 points in each game in which you can transition between the 2 games. Here's one of them. Do a quick check of the island there. The save points remain the same, so you're going to have the option off the bat to pick between Sanctuary and the house, as we see. The one of the keys for Hyrule Castle here in the Sanctuary, and it's nice to get this out of the way in case you do end up having to go front to back once we get there. Sword on Lumberjack, so I think we would normally say this in just Zelda 3 Rando, but I don't see us getting that one. Especially here in SMZ3, there's fewer reasons to go through Aga. I'll push this really hard just in case the Ganon curse is actually real, because it'll be funny as heck when it happens. So now, we'll see what Ed does, but Ugly's headed into Kakariko without money or bombs. You might luck out, although, once again, with the combo rando, chances of bombs being in any particular spot do go down. Speaking of bombs, those are not the ones we wanted. That is pretty fun. Looks like Ed might try to farm a few here before he go in there, but it looks like both players are just going to leave fate to its devices on this one. Another thing you'll see more commonly in here than Zelda 3 Rando is the hula hand, just because money goes down too with the Super Metroid items mixed in. You could see that, and then that way you just can buy bombs if you need to. The other one would be go bottom up and farm south of Grove for bombs. On the other hand, do it this way and nothing goes wrong. I guess what it means is when you come back, it's for at least 3 reasons instead of just 1. Nobody likes that. This is the thing, if you have at least one bond, you can get into the rat hut here for some more, but it's not happening. Hook shot, so there's a fourth reason we're coming back with some bombs. So rough Kakariko, not even an empty one. Just because of the way this is working out. And the same thing goes for items on here. I think we're pretty sorted on the stream itself, but I keep forgetting that I'm tracking like I just did. I think all we have is a boomerang, which doesn't go on here. Ed's gonna take his 2 bombs and redo Kakariko, and probably yeah, this is gonna be a rat hut trip as well. You can use one here and one on the rat hut. Or I guess you could buy them too, that'd be fine. Maybe, well, because now it shorts you for bottle vendor. 3 checks to get some money here, but Ed will do the rat hut. I didn't catch where Ugly caught the money from there, but Ed didn't. Actually. Mr. Ugly trading bombs for other bombs. So Mr. Ugly just re-enters this place just to get to 100. I guess since you don't save and quit here is maybe what we do. It just wasn't, something got missed, I guess. I was gonna go get his hook shot and do bottle vendor later, okay. It's going to farm up. It's going to be still a little short here. It's going to require a third one. Doesn't feel good. I don't think anything you can do here feels good. We don't get the goods that we'd like. See what bottle vendor ends up being. If it's anything good, it's not fantastic for Mr. Ugly. Trips back here are fewer and further between in SMZ3. Just an 80 rupee donation, but a minor peace of mind, I suppose. I had one some more bombs. That makes sense with no glove to farm any of the good ways. Take your money, especially at this point. First super here, have our power bombs. Just need a way to use them. Just it's kind of a repo here in Mini Moron Cave. Did I see that right? That I wasn't watching, but I'm guessing the stun was bombs, since Ed is done farming already. I thought we were missing some. Sorry, Kate. Depending on Dragon tonight. So there's a big TBD for you. Got the blue pearl now. It's just a one piece, but make it so that we don't have to worry about at least that orb out of the pair, or once and if we have money, you can turn that into Zora and get all that done. If anybody saw a map check, let me know, because I don't. nothing flipper locked spectacular that we can reasonably do right now. It's a book in Eastern here. Well, I can walk in a desert with it. That could be something. It could easily not, but it could. It headed the same direction. It'll be a matter of seeing if he goes into Eastern after Saha. He probably does. It's like ugly, that Moon Pearl. Doesn't do anything at the moment. There's at least one map. Looks like a red crystal and a boss token on the last two, respectively. So that'll do it for Eastern. We get their book. Astrology's just going to run that in. It looks like it. It's either this or you get down to Retro Bridge Star. Down here you get one check and one visual. Most of the money. A little late to be super helpful at the moment, but got something. So I actually thought the book was not on this tracker, so it's my bad. So our book gives us 2 more checks. So nothing here, because this will have to be a big key. Everybody know necessary. But it is. One more check. There's the other item. That's it, because compass and whatever's on the ledge, which was nothing. So, map compass, one of those. And if you do this right, ideally you go top left or right on that one when you have the 2 hearts back, but don't see him going back, and hopefully it never crosses his mind because of it being just a compass. So we'll work out, but just he doesn't know it. So it will, in fact, yeah, also take the book in, and this is a fair play. I was going to say before, but now that everybody's done it, this is what I would be doing. I put off Morph Ped and the ceiling quite a bit, even if it were, say, hard logic, where they're both in logic at the start. But it does seem that it often becomes something. If your first half of the first sphere in Zelda does not turn into much. Fun. This is like most SM randos here, I think. Well, at least you can clean all this out now. That's a nice thing about that. Don't want the big shiny penny. It's fair. Time is money. 3 seconds are still worth more than 1 penny. So this wasn't me entirely forgetting about Hyrule Castle completely. Because if Morph Ped was nothing, I would have taken a minute here to think about it. There could still be something good down here. Let's hope that's the case for Coconut Ed. Now that I'm turning missiles down this early, but probably won't burn too bad. This isn't really, it wouldn't really be a mother brain consideration now, it'd be everything else. Zora slash whatever money. Bottle vendors, pod, whatever's not already done. So welcome on in, Speed Gaming Main. It's SMZ3 over here. Something we like to do every now and then. Some of us. It's Coconut Ed and Metroid 1000. We're playing a reduced, semi-reduced, five crystal Ganon, five crystal Ganon and three Metroid boss. I don't know what the heck we call. There's people call them tokens, but there's 4 bosses in Metroid. It's just that sometimes the credits for them are also sprinkled into Link to the Past. So. However it is that you get them, we only need 3 of them. And no Ganon's Tower either because it's locked with a higher crystal count, so won't be seeing any of that today. So if you like that, this won't be your bag. I, of course, is one of them people who always says, well, if you want 2 bows, you might as well have 2 of everything else too. So I'm good the way it is, but where there's reasons to do it the other way. Although to be honest, now I'm just wondering what happens if in the vanilla game you don't somehow have a bow and you go to the Pyramid Fair. I don't actually know what happens. Anyway, Vanilla Morph Ball, if you want the big recap, because that's about it here in the sea tonight. I think it was pretty much the last location for Coconut Head, who's now just going to check these climb supers out. Just to get out of the way if it's nothing and it is. Also tracking too, so I know I'm missing a bunch of stuff. I'll figure it out someday. I saw some powder somewhere. I'll just give it to everybody. How's that? Yeah, we had a little bit of a big book in Eastern. May still prove convenient on the whole of the seat, but it didn't go anywhere immediately. Although I don't think Nostrovia knows yet, neither did Hyrule Castle itself, so it was Morph Pit and then Kakariko Village pretty much. Got bombs, power bombs, supers. There's regular bombs you see getting used here to preserve the power bombs a little bit. You don't sometimes see those at all. Yeah, ship sync for all of us here. This is a bit of a fun one. Coming from different places, but still. I'm probably spinning the power bomb just to go right under, personally. Well, I would. I'll tell you what. I would have also used IBJ to get up to the check above. I guess that's. I mean, it can be frustrating. I get it. It's just also another one of those checks that I've far too often seen be something for the one check that it is. Surely he wants to try to get across a few times at least. So you notice, okay, that's fine. Notice the setup, at least the easy one, where you go through the door like this, and as long as you're running while the door gets opened, you'll be at the right speed, so long as you can hit your pixel. But this makes sense. Give it a few tries while you're in the area and move on if it don't work. Captain. D13. It's SMZ3. 5 crystals and 3 tokens tonight. With no GT. It's locked out by settings. I guess you could go in if you really want to keep playing afterward and get all 7, but won't and can't be anything. Both runners have pretty much the same things done right now, the exception of the Struggler's Hyrule Castle, which I believe Coconut had found nothing in. Synced back up here for Spazer, which we already have. This one is Suzuki's. Quick check of Kraid's prize while I was in the menu, I guess, for Coconut Head to see it's another boss token. It's just not Kraid itself. Doesn't matter. There's no locked doors tied to it in this game. This gravity entirely. Go figure. So you can tell me where that is, that'd be great, because Coconut Head doesn't have it. Really, no, even though it's purple, because purple is the default for that suit. Or that sprite, the gravity is red. Or blue, I mean. Yeah, I saw 2 purple sprites a while ago and didn't think anything of it. Did we get an eyeball on the U-tank? I could have done it this time. Dismissal can Coconut Head showing us. In fact, Kraid has a big belly with a big hole in the middle of it. Try not to let that concern us too much. So yeah, Struggle was a little early on a jump. It's no big deal. Small adjustment. It's a good habit to get into the process of crouching ahead of these tight jumps or anything as something where you'd like to have as much jump as you can get, but I think on this one, proper grab jump and you're pretty much good standing or crouching. pursuit here, okay. Fun spot for that. Space jump here at the Business Center. Finally starting to put some stuff together. So Mr. Ugly's game is pretty open right now. Didn't, have anything spectacular. You have the bombs to at least get you in the area of Upper North there to get through, but we'll also find that space jump once he gets there. This is kind of interesting doing this here, which you can do. It's not super convenient without, I guess, probably high jumping things. It's too high already. Get a second shot here on the way down. That might be okay. Worth a try, at least. I guess I can see why you do this now. I never have, but I can see why. It just gives you one more chance. But that's again too high. It's too busy trying to get in position, so. Just gotta come down almost a half a body length there. There we go. I thought it was pretty good looking. Yeah, that yard really loves to stop right there. On the timing you typically have them just running straight there. So if you drop a power bomb on your way down, you don't have to wait to see all this. But I guess maybe the thinking was he's walking out of the basement, no matter what. Bombs in hand, I don't know. I'm probably picking up a lot of this stuff, but I like picking up stuff, so. Okay, well, the struggle is going to take Forgotten Highway. It looks like over ship this way. There were points I'd done this and I guess to be honest, I'm still not sure. I mean, I guess it probably adds a little bit of time going this way as opposed to just out the front. It doesn't look better, but I don't think it is better. That's not counting if you have, which he does, you know, north or access, by which point you can just take the cross-game portal there, save, quit, go to the ship if you really want to be in red ships. This kind of thing is good for SMR in certain scenarios. I will say things that didn't make it into SMZ3, and like it's done. So I mean, we have what's what we have, but things that are grouped together in other randos just came here piecemeal, like the what they call the Varia tweaks, one of which is, at least I think this is one of them, is turning on the item that's in the E-tank spot before the ship is on. Just for consistency with other things that are in here before the ship is on. We see a boat here now. Waterfall behind flippers. Something we could have been at, but I mean, no money to loop all this together. No pearl on the first trip for anybody, I don't think. So it'll probably feel a little bad for everybody, just because we're in Eastern already. So it took a second there. I figured out finally what it was, is keeping the 500 rupees for whatever later. As that all ended up being nothing. I think. I'm gonna watch this because it did not look like a save and quit to me. So we might have lost that bow. I'm gonna trust myself and take it off for now, but the next time I see it, I'll update. Meantime, fan tuned forward, Mr. Ugly. The energy is a bit of a concern, even with the Varia suit. We'll pull a few things off the fireballs here. Above the ship check that we could have got with the IBJ ended up being nothing also tonight. So, pretty good stutter step with the missiles there on that phase. I like it. 2 or 3 or 4 in, typically do without it. So just a bit short on that super, and if I had $1 every time I'd done that. Which is how I know that every time I do that, it's always 1 missile short, not 2. Just 1. So let's see what happens here. One. I don't know why it keeps happening, but it does. Anyway, dead boss for a crystal instead of a Metroid credit. Again, you get only 5 of the 7 crystals here to begin, and then 3 of the 4 Metroid bosses, or whoever happens to be holding their souls. More than likely, we'll see only a maximum of 3 actual Metroid bosses tonight, just because Dragon is in fact that green pendant. It's not incredibly likely that one item will tie up the whole seed whenever we're reduced like this, but I guess never say never. interesting for me to see, because if we can get the item doing this, then I'll know something that I don't. I've done this before and just couldn't get it right when I get up top here. Also, yeah, I kind of didn't expect it to be too much, just on odds, but I was wanting to see that. You know, like people like me, I race this thing, but it's just something that happens. So I like playing it whenever, however. I'll do asyncs, I'll do whatever. I don't know. I just find it fun. That said, good news: Zelda 3 doesn't have any adjustments that come with this, so there's no glitches required or anything like that, depending, even with any of the settings that you can do. First glove at 1 hour at the back of our ship. Huh. This is a check you make heavily dependent on your control scheme, I think. I guess this is another way to do it, just bounce out. But getting that jump in the first down press, one right after the other, so long as you're doing it on 2 hands, that's easy enough. It's just some boots in there, oh boy. It's getting that second down press, it can be a little bit of trouble. But needs one fast go thing to get the other fast go thing, and well, that's too bad, because not spectacular chances we'll need either. Seen a couple of speed lock checks already that don't have anything in them and don't need library. Yeah, boots are TBD as far as access to things goes. Desert wouldn't need them for that either. We've seen it. Space jump from Mr. Ugly. I'd expect popping over to Death Mountain here to at least get the save point. Please. Get us soon enough. I do this a lot too. These two checks here, they are out of logic here with tonight's settings, but easy enough to eyeball at least. I think, you know, we've seen these boots, right, with the speed lock on them. That's nice, a beam here of some sort. But I guess it would be possibly something you could look at. You could say the boots could be acquired. It just depends how late speed shows up, if at all. If it's pretty quick, you might see people go back up there. Because beyond just access to things, that time to go get them could mostly pay for itself if it doesn't, again, take too long. So yeah, we'll see. When speed shows up, there's two things to look at. Time of the game and how much stuff is still needed, I would say. Some interesting combo items. So that'll give Shack Tool. It's just Struggle only has Botwoon and back plus Shack Tool left and ready at this point, so maybe not the most enticing thing at the moment. Okay, write it down, folks. I don't know that I've seen this before. I had to think about this. But yeah, Wave and Ice just switched. That's it. I don't think I've seen that before. That's funny. I don't know. I mean, like I say, I play the game. It's fun to do every time you run it. But in the process, you get to see some goofball stuff like that, and I just find it fun to make notes of stuff like this sometimes. Like there was that time we saw the Varia suit in the left of the water hole, right, in Upper Meridian. Well, I always remember that time that somebody had a Varia suit in that exact spot, and then the gravity right next to it. So that was fun. Silver Archers would be nice for everybody. Just need to come up with that bow. Coconut Ed had it, and I'm still waiting for him to get out of Super Metroid to see if he actually has it. Because it looked like a quick reset from Zora. If that's the case, then trade it 500 rupees for a bow. But That's nice. X-ray tending to come through with some pretty key stuff. In this case, you know, in SMZ3, even with the required mire, you don't necessarily need a flute. Just depends where some other things are at due to the cross-game portals, but either way, nice to have when you can find it. This wasn't necessarily something that we could have seen either because I think everybody had already been through this area without great access to that. I don't know if anybody scouted out either, but it's every beam outside of charge. Trying to save Mr. Ugly, and I just somehow missed him doing Kraid. Usually do that either before I'm ready or right after, but just doing it last, so that'll be up next. I don't think there's anything else good in here besides a sword. But you do get your Metroid boss out of it. For one, I actually don't, but I think everybody has. I remember because I pointed it out, it was rated an hour. So the just die already Stratford grade here. Never seems to do it nearly as well as you'd like once he's stood up. Looks like Mr. Ugly got the sword. So it's high time to just hold it out. Or to swing. Gets through. So this is interesting. Another sword here. But I'm trying to think now how Mr. Ugly would not have the mirror. Terminator. Because typically, especially today, it's just because I didn't mark it. Well, no, we don't have the hammer yet. Can't get through this way to do things like hair or, check the tablet that we now have the ability to get the item out of. But there's Mr. Ugly's map check. Still looking for that one piece, be it mitts or a hammer or something. A lamp for Akka, we don't want to, but something for the Dark World, so you actually have another map to check. Yeah, I've been busy. Got most of Metroid cleared actually. It's 2 boss areas and that's it. I think is all that's left. Okay, does have it. Sun shines, grass grows, and I miss buttons. He's thinking about something. Maybe it's going to be the hair pot. I had to wager, I guess. It looked like maybe. That other map we wanted. I think maybe Coconut was a little bit amused by that ice beam as well. That's right, the ice beam was here. Never mind. Took my eye off right before he picked up whatever it was, and I just said that. It's still funny. Similar looking room. I love frozen hitboxes. Well, there is a fake flipper set up there, I guess. I was going to say nobody picked up the mushroom, but with that bow, he could have done it. One we just would have gotten there. Probably getting the thing just in case it's something. And I doubt that I'm coming back. I guess you could with catfish, but. Let's see if Coconut Head still has that though. If you pick up the mushroom, I'm not even talking about stuff like that. It'll be a long way pet check. I'm not actually even sure where the pendants are. We got two. That doesn't. It's going to be a reserve tank for Super Metroid. So nothing doing there. So I guess we do have all three of them, because the ones in Dragon. Room. You try to be cool in here, but if you don't have a screw attack, you're just going to eat a flame. Either that or go slow, and who wants to do that? So yeah, I guess Ed's headed back for the bow that he doesn't have. I was trying to pay attention for quick swaps from the mirror direction, but I guess he figured it out. Dice on the mushroom there. Yeah, once again, it's like green pennant, even though as I thought about it, there's 3 and 4 items tied to that here today, but mushroom is just one, so hopefully, even if it is something progressive that we don't need. Third sword. I'll take it. Say, if I'm not too much mistaken, we don't have anything further to do in the front of desert here. This might be a little lacking in fire. Is that what's going on? Pretty sure no land in the fire rod yet. It's actually a little odd. I kind of expected at this stage to have stumbled into one of them. Usually the fire rod, but comes Shack Tool for Coconut Ed with that big old package that the runners got a little bit ago at Croc. It's a Croc now, it's North Air Reserve. One thing I know everybody can do now is at least E-string. It's going to be, one item that everybody knows they still have left in there on the boss. So I guess this is cleanup for everybody. If this is Ed making a play for Dragon just to get the pin ahead of going that way. And of course you don't need it, but maybe just hoping it's something that can separate him a little. As I mentioned before, it's not just that, it's 3 and 4 checks around it. I say 3 and 4 because plasma afterward is on the table. I don't know if we're going that way, but we might if we're committing to this kind of thing. These Metroids really do not like being off the screen. issue here, and it's the one that bugs me more than it probably ought to, is we're just one piece short of a full microwave. Should be nice for all of this. Thankfully, we have at least, one of the other pieces that comes with this whole thing on the wish list that will mean that we don't have to worry too much about ammo for Dragon. Just plug them in. The flute from Struggly. It is, of course, precious. Out of all the options in Pendant Land, that ended up being something. And once again, it's for two things. There's no GT here, so not three. Both of which are viable to finish the Seed, Meyer, and TR, however. Again, we can miss 2 crystals and one of those Metroid tokens in total, so we'll just have to see which ones end up being. But King is a good find. Yeah, Shindig, I seen you in here. A couple of us are here. I'm probably not one of them. I'm just staring at the screen. This is not on anybody. His seat is kind of weird. It started but did not end with the morph pedestal being vanilla. Lack of money at the start, had to run around a couple of times more than we would have liked, that kind of thing. Late glove, no fire. Hammer's taking a while. Yeah, we've seen, I want to say exactly West Death Mountain for Dark World, that's it. So, there's not much you can do. Speaking of, I think it's Mr. Arthur just trying to work it out. Without a bunch of stuff in front of me, I can't think of it either. But what do we got? Eastern. Armas specifically. That's all I got right now. I'm sure there's something else, but that's all I got. So Mr. Early might be doing what Coconut had done here and doing the wet stuff. That is optional on its face, but Coconut Head up here at Plasma again, just you get a cane, it doesn't help you right now. So we're still looking for something. Biggest reason to be here. Yeah, I really think this is the biggest chunk of checks that anybody had had. So. And Eastern's case isn't hurt by it being a crystal. It's just there's only one item in there. Should get to it. I think people want to loop it with pod maybe, but we have a hammer, not a hammer, really, a mirror and all that, but. Dark World, okay, yeah. I say here, just going to the Dark World this way. We do have that. I failed to mention this before. We have this way. So we go through Aga 2 without fire, but this doesn't become my first or third or fourth choice because of how long it takes, but it's probably about what we've got. But about that looping of pod, we can do it. We can just walk there at this point. Won't have a hammer unless it's just in there. But we can work on it and then go do Eastern, or vice versa. I guess this is actually, now I realize probably the bigger issue, having to somehow make it through the lake without flippers. It's not terrible, and I only say that because while there is a goofball way to get onto the dock after this, we also do have bombs and arrows. So you could, yeah, take this portal as well. I didn't even think of that. Normally I would be just going past Ice Palace. But yeah, this is really good if you don't have the bombs and arrows to reset the fake flip to get into the dock that way. So now we're at Potion Shop without the mushroom, just buying stuff. Kinda hope that wasn't anything. There, south of Zoro. Might actually pick it up now. It's like I was mentioning before, when you have a mirror and catfish, you can, but I mean, if we do, well, I guess at least we got a flute to go back to. But buying potions now tells me it's not really on the short list of activities. Now the swords, I asked a year ago, sorry. Kraid, Middle, and Paradox, the 5-pack. Actually, see, I think Coconut Head just has the one. That's how much I'm able to find. He's got two, never mind. Let's see. Yeah, those are the two. That's the same ones for the both of them. Well, those same two, and then Mr. Charlie's got one from Meyer. this is what you just asked me. Meyer Shed was the third one. So yeah, it's headed, looks like it's going to go to the left. And thought better of it, but I guess you only have to do this because of no mitts or boots. I'm just a little surprised at no Eastern pod. There were points that I would have bypassed. Like I say, you really want to get this stuff together so you don't have to go through it once, especially, in a setup like this. I'm sure part of the thinking is the fact that you have to walk out if you don't find a hammer and thus have no other dark road. So, we do a lap here and come back, I guess. If there are no flippers, we'll be flippering again to do that, but the choices don't seem great, really. So, maybe not a lot of people, but to me this has always been, I thought, a good reason to have some of those standard missiles around. Each pirate takes 9 of them, but at least get to save your supers and a little bit of time if you just start popping with those. See, that's true. I almost got through there. I don't even try with this pirate anymore. I mean, it looks like he can, but he's just the timing never seems to work out for me. maybe. A couple times. Call it worst ring for nothing. There's a charge. Struggle to get Sarah will be happy. Don't have to worry about ammo at all. 25. You get just 20 supers. He's not going to be able to miss most of anything. Let's see, 10 regulars, and that's it. A few more if you want to use power bombs, but. See, one super had a whiff, so that's. Wow, okay. These power bombs must add up to a little more than I thought they did. Icy looking coin for a reward as Coconut Ed comes up with the rod for it in a hype cave. TR again being another one of those, might get it done in the 5 crystal setup that we need. Still missing a fire rod. That one being missing at this point again is still so Coconut Eddie, okay, he wants another brain right now. This typically gets put off even if you have the ability to reduce, just because you might be trying to find something that would help with getting the fight done, but I don't know that there really is anything that would make much of a difference, so this is okay. Just we have our charge, so that's okay. Charge ice. These would be the only 2 beams on his tracker, probably for that reason. I know I marked ice, come on man, I'm already screwing it bad enough, it don't need help. It's actually funny that Thieves Town still has a question mark on it, because right here on my screen it says SM selected. So cycle that. It's a fun kind of a shovel. And there have been some missile skips here and there, but definitely no super skips. We just started coming up with them. A little handful of GT, I'm sure. Now, of course, how many people have played, raced here, and know that check to be something. A lot. Okay. Never tried damaging down after the first rainbow. I was a little scared there. I thought I was going to get it again without the baby showing up. Yeah, I really don't know on these beams. I just see, like, when Ed got to charge, I pointed it on here and clicked. It just, I don't typically blame the whole button eating thing here, especially whenever the refresh is usually what does it, and that's not a very common thing today, but this is not going to be a stream to keep. It's mostly for the runners to look at, I figure. That's the biggest reason I do these.
Cooking it in once a hyper beam for something. This is one of the things you can do. Since the game doesn't end without Ganon also being dead, you can run this beam wherever it lets you. Just you find some enemies that have a magical immunity to it, but I guess. And I was told this has something to do with the way the game's coded to begin with. But once it does get reset, which is what happens when you switch off the game, you end up with it's like wave and plasma or some combination of beams that even if you didn't have them before, you get credit for them. So it's going to be an eligible mother brain for Mr. Ugly 2 here. If it weren't for all those pesky crystals, you know. Just so anybody who's still here didn't catch, we got boots behind speed and wreck ship. Yeah, so we're gonna be taking our time here, relatively speaking, today. You're gonna want the light world for that. Hoping that would turn into something just because of where the shovel was, but I think maybe sometimes it might be better to just not know where boots are, right? You know, and you know that it's
just not fun to get, then that's worse. Coconut, I did pick up that cane there. Cape in hand and half magic as well. I guess that's a fair skip. Don't need it. I know both runners did that, headed toward the, the proper way to get into Golden Chorizo here. Just because of having that space jump, save missiles on the Green Gate attempt and all that, but just a big kick in the butt just to have a penny there. So this coconut head, heads down here to Ridley for a crystal loop we're gonna need. Oh good. There's the speed. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I don't even know what you do with that. It's like, Waterway is the one we don't know about in Brinstar. Other than that, I don't know what that does for you. Puts the boost back in your head, like the little bug that it is. Now just piecing together what keeping this hyper beam was for. It does work down here, thankfully. It's just a long trip not to have to take, or not to be able to take Zelda 3 to get here. But between the ammo and I have always myself looked for opportunities to do this, and there's not always good ones, but this is okay. You're gonna see how fast a little bony dragon dies. You're about to. I always have to think whenever I take a purple chest here, which I do kind of often actually. Getting the portal and the chest in different spots so you don't lose one or the other, basically. The little wiggle makes sure you have the thing. It doesn't, whether it follows you, it's finicky. It follows you if it wants to. It's for Coconut Head now. It's gonna, like I figured, head back toward the Mire portal, being as first. Or, well, I guess still has to actually do Ridley. I forgot about that. But yes, then back toward mine. Coconut, of course, will want a medallion of some kind before getting there. We'll get one. I was about to say, I should have already known if it was the right one, because I want to say Mr. Ugly checked it, but if he had, I missed it. He was there. Ridley up, Ridley down for Coconut Head, as expected. So this will be Mr. Early headed toward Dragon, and again, you can say you can get through the back door, but it is not fun. And the boots, to make it easier with a different setup, are just, like I said, it's just worse. Like, they're variable, but you know how, and it's bad. So suddenly Botwoon becomes a better option. There's just nothing you can do about it. So you can fake Flipper in the back, but most of the time you're just going to get bombed.
So while Coconut Head has his Hyper Beam for Ridley, as nice as it is on paper, Mr. Ugly does have the X-ray, or the X-ray, the microwave with the X-ray and all that good stuff that Coconut Head did not have. And it's going to make quick work of these two bosses. It's always fun time. So this farm's more for a little bit of energy than anything. I love doing this because you sit in the sand pit to get it, and then you want to tell yourself that you want a certain amount, and then you want to leave. And as soon as you try to leave, if you don't get out right away, because you get stuck in the sand, then you got to get some more. Well, I'm still here. Might as well pick up this. It's just a weird bit of a farm. So we'll call Mother Brain accomplished, if not finished, across both runner screens, but there's 3 crystals to go. 2 in hand, both of them are from Super Metroid. No crystals from the game they're supposed to be from yet. This is solely due to the way it's laid out. There are dungeons that are done because they were convenient, they just happen to both have Metroid tokens on them. I had mentioned this before, but I wasn't sure, but I still would have definitely been okay going back and saying that some Metroid boss was going to get skipped in there. And not only were they not, they were done before a lot of anything else was, mostly because of bad Dark World access, I guess. Hammer and Fire Rod are they're just stuck in my head rent free because it's like, where are they? One or the other being late, okay, but both? Do really hope Bonk Rocks doesn't have either one of those. It's possible at this point, but I hope not.
That's it for the speed locks. I'm say, unless you want to count boots with the TBD-ness attached to it. Worth a check, I guess, but you just gotta do bud at some point. So here's those boots. I just put together where it was. We're getting them. You know, and for me, it's like, you just want something nice, even if it is a little bit of an investment. The way the rest of this is going. This means nothing. I just want to point out something. I saw the spark, but it was on a delay, which typically doesn't happen unless you're trying to go left or right. So maybe didn't have up pushed at the time. I don't see that much, if at all, I guess. Guess I just thought if you just jumped, you'd just go straight up. I don't know, I'll have to look into that now. There's G's all around on stream here tonight. It's just the other ones got a little bit of work to do yet. Again, it's not very often in this order either. So, lucky prize placement, I guess. Speaking of, there's going to be one more for Coconut Head. So now two more. Where are they coming from? Need fire for two of them. It doesn't even matter what kind of fire, you don't have either one. It's desert and ice. Three of them actually. Four of them. No, one's a pendant. At least three. TR, desert, and ice. Some sort of fire for all that. This is okay coming back in. You choose to skip, but one of the things you least like to have to happen is if the big key isn't in the box. I guess even if it is, if you skip the left side, finding that big key in the back is nice. That way it means you come through, you know for sure that you're only going to have to move one direction to clean up everything else, and that's it. Clicked E through with Ridley when Coconut Head was in there, and it's not there either. Sorry, I don't know. I don't know what's up with it. Not sure how it takes one and not the other one at the same time. See, I only have one item in here, but at this point, yeah, you don't want to leave it here, I guess. It's a map and compass in the first two, and then just a piece of art. But well. So the good news is that no other intrepid adventurers coming and taking the boots. That would be bad.
I marked the boots off because he was in here. I guess he ran out of power loans. Yeah, it can happen typically with less capacity, but I mean, it's really bad whenever you get enough to get in and not to get out. Well, mushroom get. Let's see what it is. Look at that. That's some kind of fire, huh? Not enough to... Not to kind of get you all of the firelock things. But at least one of them. It's not this one. Check this turning for the active.
I guess I don't know if there was indecision or what. I guess I got lost on what it had done here. First I thought it was Ice Palace because of the bombos, but no matter what, either way you go to the late road, you fleet to one or the other. Maybe, like I said, maybe it was indecision or something. And I also get that, well, Icy Wood, this, you didn't want to do it this long. Nobody would. It's a pendant. Alright, and you're missing a hammer, but pretty sure we got everything we could want for ice. I wouldn't say, I don't know if I would say much is really blocked by a hammer. It'd be nice to have, but I don't know that we needed to complete this seed. I guess you do need it to complete ice. It's just, you're picking a dungeon here, as we see now, one of each from the runners. Both of which are missing the hammer to complete them, but I don't know, like Pod, it really is the seed, I guess, because Pod is, you know, got more items, but the prize is not needed at all. And in Ice, you need the prize, but there's only 3 items, so it's like, I get why you would not know what to do here. And it's been like that for like an hour and a half, just 2 and 3 troops direct ship for boots, which, yeah, locked Swamp. This is a problem with Reduced. If you get unlucky, it's a bunch of stuff that you think you don't need, so you don't want to do, right? Even, you know, 2 of your crystals become pendants, essentially. So when it's goofy requirements to get in them, you don't want to do them. If it was a 774, you just go do it. And, you know, on its face that takes longer, but if you want in the process you find things that are needed for other things, then cool. But because of this, you don't know what to do. Got at least 1 pet check. It's some flavor of nothing. That's what I mean by the pendant on Pod being not needed at all, because we don't know. Coconut Edit, I think, was the one that checked it historically. It's another one where, you know, you have had a book forever, and we have in Mirror, alright, but you want to loop a pet check that you might do into Skullets, but no fire up, still. everybody's finding it by now on these routes. This is just... Like, I can't even conceptualize where it could be outside of one of these two dungeons. I know I'd mentioned armor, so well, we know there's an item on here. Another one, just like Skull Woods. You want to loop something else with it with your mirror alert, but just... The longer you go, the more likely this is to be something, but somehow I am not yet convinced. See it when we see it. That's okay, I forget about that too till I get here. I've done it, this is true. This is actually the biggest reason I do a lot of these, because these are a lot of familiarity. When I'm not the one running. In fact, I'm pretty sure I gave myself away, because when I was talking about wanting to go to ice, I didn't think about it then either. So, we only need 5, and yes, 2 of them were in Super Metroid, but this is the first crystal out of Zelda. Nothing doing on items from the boss. Kind of figures. That has got what left down here? If he wasn't the one that checked waterway, I guess there's that.
If I remember, there was just an E-tank down here, but if you're Ed or anybody else, you are going to see this and wonder, okay, well, now what? It's a front of TR? No, there's not. You need a hammer for that. Jeez, I don't know. Don't go this way unless you're doing croc, which I'm pretty sure everybody already did. Guess I could be wrong. This happens quite a bit, as you can see. Fun little bit about plasma. Just hits a bunch of times on the way through, and it's, the croc stops if you let him get off the screen, so there is actually a limit to however many times it hits, but if you just follow him over, it's enough to get him into the drink in one shot, so it's always fun when you have that loadout down here.
I don't remember if Coconut Ed had done what Mr. Early's doing, but nothing here either, which is... That last box is always a key, if you don't know. I remember that I had checked this, but this is what was the first sword at the time, now the last. So, yeah, it's fun to look at, and it's just not going to help. You know, we have the lamp to get it if we wanted to, or fire out to do it in a goofy way. So. I don't know if either one would try it in the dark if it were something helpful, but I don't even like to do it. So just a little quick piece of trivia. The standard for full one of these combo randos without keys is, these days, generally under 3 hours, right? This is a 5-3. Got 5 racers doing this, including the 2 on screen here. Nobody's even close to This is wow. So here comes Meyer, finally. And once again, if somebody had eyeballed the entry requirements, I didn't catch it, but Ether was really nice. So if there is anything in here, and I don't see why. I don't know where else there even is at this point. It's just that just means Ridley was squarely mid-game, if not earlier. That's kind of wild, actually. Ugly there has a little bit of a different specky setup. That is fantastic, but it works consistently. It probably does. I'm sure it's one of those ones that was worked on in the early days of it, before we all just settled on free one. But it's like AirPod. There's about 6 ways to do it, I think. 60. Yeah, Fish Room kind of doesn't have a point here.
Not that I didn't do this for like 4 months when I started racing. I like doing this key drop thing they got running around. Makes the room actually needed. Although, I should have paid attention, because if there wasn't any blue-orange switches going at it from that route, then that would actually help. Good to know. You can just flip that one for the rest of the dungeon while you're up there. Yeah, fire is so goofy. I mean, you have your lamp, which allows for some things, and your bombos, which allows for some things, and the fire rod, which gets you, I think, all of them. Unless one of those things happens to be dungeon entry, so that's a hammer. Well, that'll give us crystal number 4. And no, just 4. Can't use pod. Oh, you know what? That's 5. Never mind. That swamp should have been marked. It's something when I can tell you that this seat has beat me solid and I am not even playing it. Like desert, you needed fire, right, for 2 hours. 2.5 maybe, maybe more. We didn't need the boots, we got the book early. I guess the glove was a factor there too, so maybe not quite that long, but that would have been a crystal option. It was just not available. And yeah. A lot of conspiring of the elements in this thing. So you get your go mode and what's essentially a pendant with that boss token not being needed. And you know what? See what I mean? I'm sure there's people here who got this figured out well before I opened my mouth, but we're not in go mode. We have the one fire and it's not going to work for Ganon. So yeah, Zaru, you're right. You said that before, the hammer, but I kind of said hammer, okay good, that's enough, but no. I'm just counting dungeons this whole time. Yeah, we've been there. This was something I typically race and don't say anything to anybody. But somebody threw a channel on here. I have to keep insisting it wasn't me and I don't know who it was. But nobody else was doing it, so I figured why not. I've mentioned before, like I said, I've had some issues with reduce, and I've spelled them out here before. Things that just don't work out the way you would expect them to, but I don't know that I've ever seen one like this on the 5.3 category. So I was not planning to be here at the current moment.
So, yeah, by my count, which is as good as anybody's, but I'm pretty sure it's right now. Let's just get down here, kill some puffballs, and go beat Ganon with our thankfully pretty nice loadout. Or, no, we'll see. Still need that fire, that's right. There's no more items in here, so. I'm trying to remember now how many items we picked out of Meyer, if it was just that hammer. Sure hate to see that. I guess if there are any items and I mess that up too, then they're locked out because we don't have the fire to get to them on the left side. But you know, for real, I'm gone. I'm sorry. This kind of thing showed up more than once every 110 days. I probably would have still raced it before. It's probably what it would have looked like. I'm always forgetting this on here, in some capacity or another. But it's, you know, it's usually for reasons like, well, let's see if we can get, you know, we can showcase the thing as established as it is. It's real niche, and you know, this kind of seed it makes us capable of why. I think, you know, if this isn't my first rando, I don't know that I do it either, but it's hard to say. I don't know. I like the progression a lot of the time and the possibilities. So I guess what I'm doing for myself now is looking at lamp, because that's the one that has logical implications for the rest of the game. And I'm like, well, if we can run into that, or we could say that we should have, because of this or that we've done, but I'm looking around here and I don't know that there was anything we've done that required the lamp. Eastern would have been the first candidate, but the back, the big key chests, we didn't need it. I guess the boss does still require it, so it seems like that would be, out of the two options, what we would find first. Possibly. And good front of TR. Now that we have the hammer, this is finally on the table. We haven't been up here 5-6 times already. about a mother brain done? Like over an hour before go mode, let alone actual done. And 5.5 years, never seen it. Of course, there's your key, so you can keep going in the TR. I tell you what. Pyramid Fairy, need fire for that. There's your other key. I mean, this is like, makes sense at this point, doesn't it? Having those keys here. At the same time, I still want to tell myself that there is something else, but there may well not be. Super sure if we saw a spike cave, that's another hammer thing. Hammer pegs. I guess hammer, does have a few things associated with it. Well, here comes the spike cave. Say if we got a big key, but we didn't. We got just a small key in the last eligible chest, so big key's gonna be fire rod locked. Means chances of Mr. Ugly getting it here aren't too bad. Yep. So, yeah, that'll do it. It's like at this point you have to think, or what are we still missing? Gotta be something, right? Well, I think that's it. You just gotta walk there now. Hopefully that just comes up with the fire rod here and mimics or something. Or no, we just did that. So it is also going to get the lamp here. This is another thing. I don't actually know what they can put in GT when we lock it out of settings. Like, are there things like this that are unique that if you don't need to get your counts? I want to say the answer is no, they have to be out in the world, but I have no idea actually. So moving, this I guess isn't typically what's done, but I don't care. 5 racers, right? Different skill levels all over the place. Well, guess what? We're all getting done here about the same time. That is seed agnosticism, apathy, or something, one of the words. Started 10 minutes ago and ended here just on Ganon with another couple, and that's it. So yeah, this is enough for me to know where I would have been. And, well, geez, Mr. Ugly. Gonna copy paste that one in about a minute. But wow. GG's to anybody finishing this, really. Basement. Well, you know, the fire-locked fire had to happen at some point, didn't it? Hello, Mr. Ugly GG's. They're talking about where Fire Rod was. If you didn't look, you want to guess?
I'm guessing it's probably inside of Turtle Rock.
So, Coconut Ed went there. It's locked. The key's in the Fire Rod room. You know what I mean?
Oh.
So that's actually how you got him. But, what do you say? Hair basement. So, of course, locked behind the other one, right?
Of course.
I mean, even if it wasn't fire locked, there's that and there's Meyer, right? Which is also fire locked, but that's like it. So,
yeah.
But you see the times. Look at what this has done to people. Oh my, you know, just like I said before, you got your GGs on actually finishing this. Because oh boy.
Race around the world just to find a fire source.
Well, you need a hammer for that, and that didn't show up till late either. So
Yep.
even if Spike Cave is bad, you just don't have the option until whenever. There was just. I'll if it's cool with you, I'll give you open-end, so just some thoughts, because for me, it just seemed like the seed was full of a whole bunch of would rather not do, and it started with those boots at direct ship, right?
Yep.
Because, we get a crystal out of swamp this way, but can it be one of the two that we don't need? Maybe, but no. But yeah, what were your thoughts on that sort of thing?
Man, I was from early seeing that swamp was a crystal. I got excited because swamp is just so easy to do, provided you have the flippers, and I had already fallen those, so I was like, oh, this is great. I know where the flippers are. It must mean that the boots are going to be somewhere pretty quick. Boy, was I wrong on that one.
Yeah. If you actually look at this, and I wouldn't, because this was a mess on my part. I'm sorry for that, but I forgot where everything was, and you got the gravity on the first trip through. Coconut Ed didn't. Y'all ended up triple dipping everything, and it wasn't even keys. It's like, how's that happen? But
Yeah, I mean, 333 is first place for a 5-3, so
Yeah.
that's how you know there was nothing you could have done. I don't know if Coconut will be in. It probably will if I actually push the button. Something I haven't had a whole lot of actual success with here tonight. It's only Mondays. No, no glove for an hour. That wasn't even the worst part. It would have been. I mean, any other day, glove took an hour.
Mm.
I was saying to people, I like doing these so you can get this on here and get people to play SMZ3. I don't think this one fulfilled that very well. I was okay with it for a while because I know how reduced can get, but then it just kind of crossed the threshold and stayed.
I don't know. I think it's weird that Bo was in Waterfall Fairy, which
Right.
was another thing that made me think, oh, you know, Boots has to be early because everything is hidden behind Flippers, and I know where Flippers is. So
Yeah, that's a fair conclusion for sure. And it's just
instead we get Speed Lock Speed and Fire Locked Fire.